Little Kidamando Gambino Chanyawe, little Kidamando. Little Kidamando Gambino Chanyawe. Little Kidamando Gambino Tambari, little Abundolania.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was just ushering our guests in and also welcoming you officially to this function. Today, we witness yet another milestone in URA as we unveil the Masaka Regional Office. This building is a clear manifestation of URA's effort towards fortifying Uganda's financial landscape. Great appreciation goes to the government of Uganda for the funding. Great appreciation goes to the URA board for the strategic direction, the URA management for the leadership offered, the project team for actually delivering this project in a record time of 15 months. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the political leaders, our protocol yabwe ensusse nja kulinda abakulu bajanjule, the religious leaders, your senior management staff, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, omukolo ogwokubiri gugenda kutandika. DJ tuwe anthems tutandika omukolo guno mu butongole. Mbasaba basebo ne banyabo tuyimirireko. We're going to have the national anthem, the East African anthem, n'ekitiibwa kya Buganda.
Bafe omukono Buganda yafe, ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyavaata, naffe tukikuumenga.
Tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzeege, bassebo ne bannyabo mutuuleko. I'd like to take the honors to invite the Assistant Commissioner, Administration, who is also behind this big project that we are seeing, but in URA, she is our mother. I'd like to welcome Ishta to make her remarks and welcome you. Lwaki muyise kubanga ye nannyini wano yagenda otwaniriza neeyanziza nnyo.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be standing here today. I'd like to welcome all of you, Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, our members of Parliament, the Mayor of this city, and the whole entire leadership of Masaka City, our clergy, Commissioner General, and the entire senior management of URA and URA staff. You are very welcome. And our stakeholders, our taxpayers, you are very welcome. Allow me to just briefly introduce myself again. My name is Ishta Naziwa Chambade. I'm the Assistant Commissioner Administration. My role here today is very simple, so I won't really take much of your time. This project here, as you're aware, officially started 1st July last year. However, we all know that projects don't start from groundbreaking. There was a whole process before that. The first part of this process was the entire team that dreamed about it and caught the vision and jotted it down. Then there was the process of finding our partners. The first partner that came on board was Symbian, our consultants. And that was through a procurement process in early 2020. We then went on to get a contractor through another procurement process. In 2021, this was ambitious. And then, of course, we had all the protocols that follow after that. I must tell you that Ambitious and Symbian were a match made in heaven for this project. And we'd like to thank them very much. I shall introduce them to you later. They'll stand up. But there was another part to this. Once the contract came out, we had to have a team that was managing the whole process. Now, someone said earlier on, one MC, we are self-sufficient. So we had an internal team. I'm going to ask this team to come up and stand with me, please. This was the contract management team, in case they are doubting about who I'm talking about. Now, this team here were on the road to Masaka for 15 months, dedicated, rain, shine, they were here. In the last, I think 3 months, they were here on a weekly basis. Rain or shine, this team was here. Were there hitches in the process? Yes, but not the kind that gave us sleepless nights. One, because we had the dream team of Ambitious, and Symbion, and 2, this team right here. So I'd like us to give them a big hand of applause. Yes. Before I go any further, can I just ask the Ambitious and Symbion team also to stand up so that they may see you? We thank you very, very much. This could not have happened without you in this record time. We appreciate you. And we also know that projects like this have a lot of hiccups. I notice that the whole team is not standing. We also have a lot of hiccups in these projects, but you made it very easy for us. Thank you so much. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the government of Uganda, because this project was fully funded by the government of Uganda. We are very grateful. We're very grateful, Honorable Minister, and because of our gratitude, we shall be coming to you again. Actually, we are already in your corridors on a monthly basis, seeking the same favor for some more projects, the next one being Mbale. And next, CG, Senior Management, we thank you so much for catching this dream. This project has had favor that I hadn't seen on many projects, but because CG and Meg, you believed in this project the first time it came to you, and we had no hitches getting approval, and we had no hitches you selling it forward. We appreciate you, CG, Commissioner DT, and the whole of Meg. A special thank you goes to my boss, Commissioner Corporate Services, who was the first point of impact when we were selling it, and also our Assistant Commissioner Finance, who's here in two hats, but let me specifically thank her for your support in this matter. With those few words, I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone, and we look forward. Also to just note to everyone that this project is the first one we've done. So in a way, it's a first fruit for Uganda. We plan to roll out in other regions, God willing. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, our mother. Without further ado, let me welcome the chairman, LC1, Tulimu Matwale Gosebo, Sagalo Tukwate Musango, Ntiate Twatani Sokole Mikolo. Chairman Inga Wajala, allow me recognize the arrival of the RCC, Mr. Hood Hussein, you're most welcome.
Sebo webale nnyo, webale ddala. Sebo omugenyi waffe omukulu, ate mukwano gw'abangi Honorable Kasolo. Sebo Owekitiibwa Mathias Mpooga Samba. Sebo Owekitiibwa Honorable Bwanika Abedi, Omugalatiya Masaka basinga okuyita. Mukama wange RCC. Wira ntunula nga sikulaba ne ngamba ate ayagala tukola ki. So webale nnyo okujja, webalire ddala. Amannya gange nze Mulindwa Ddeewo, ssentebe w'ekyalo kino ekiyitibwa Mutuba Musisi Gardens. Naye nga sinnagenda wala, ate nnyina bakama bange mbansobeza mbangudde obubonero bungi nnyo. Munzikirize ssebo omugenyi waffe omukulu, mbalage bakama bange abakulaakulanyiza ekyalo kino, era amaanyi gange ge nnyina gali mu bo mutima gwa Masaka. Munsonyiwe mbayimirize Hajati Oluvadi, Haji Muto, Maria Fulo, Mapoli, mbeegayire muyimire bambi kasita ddakiika emu. Munsonyiwe bayimiriza ani gwendeseeyo. Abakulu abo be bayimirizaawo Masaka, ekyalo kyange kyabbeeyi n'abantu bantera okubeera awo. nsiimanye emirimu gye mukola mwebale nnyo okuweereza. Haji Farid, yimirira naawe. Kamulu. Yes. Bakadde bange mu Katonda abali wano, omugenyi waffe omukulu, Oweekitiibwa Meeya, Honorable Ministers, member of Parliament. Olwaleero olunaku lwa ssanyu. Omukulu DPC, Ssebo mbadde sikulabye, weebale kubeerawo Ssebo, weebale nnyo, weebale ddala DPC. Omukulu oyo tumwagala nnyo, security agikutte bulungi. Yeebalire ddala. Olunaku lwaleero lwa ssanyu, n'olwekyo ebigambo byange byakwebaza. Ssebo, Commissioner General, ne ttiimu yo Ssebo, nkwebaza ne ssekwebaza yenna, bayinginiya bo, omulimu gwe mukoze omulungi, ate mu budde, kubanga nzijukira bwe mwatandika wano, gwali mwezi oba gwa 7 gwa 8, ne mutukakasa nti ekizimbe kino mujja kukimala mu mwaka gumu. Mwatu ekyewuunyisa mutuukiriza, kye mwetema mukituukiriza, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. N'ekirala nsiima nnyo okulaba nti ekizimbe kino kyazimbibwa ate ku kyalo kyange. Olaba bwe neeyongera amayinja RCC, kamanga amayinja geeyongedde, bwengatako ebifo biri byemmenye. Nsiima nnyo, nsiimira ddala, neebaza nnyo gavumenti olw'okutwagala ffe bannamasaka. Ne bazimba ekintu kino mu kibuga kya Ssaabasajja Kabaka. Bannange tweyanzeege. Gavumenti yakoze ebintu bingi nnyo. Era ndowooza Meeya yajja n'omukisa. Tukwebaza nnyabo, tukwebaliza ddala. Ssebo Honorable Mpuuga, tweyanzeege. Byonna mmwe mubikola, kuba mmwe mubeera eyo ne mujjukiza bekikwatako. N'olwekyo nsiima gavumenti olw'ebyo byekoledde Masaka, nguudo, bizimbe ng'eddwaliro. Tetwalina lefaalo, kati eyitibwa lefaalo, tutaddeko n'ekizimbe kino eky'omulembe. Bane tusiima nnyo, tusiimira ddala. Mukama wange RCC naawe wajja n'omukisa, kubanga bakiguddewo nga wooli. Era nga bwe nkugambye Ssebo, baasuubiza nti omwaka gumu bajja kuba bakimaze, bakituukirizza. Kati awo Commissioner General batuyinza kumwebaza tutya? Katonda yamanyi. N'ebigambo ebyo Ssebo Sheeka, munnange Sheeka Sisimba Ssebo, nakutwalidde mu bannaddiini. Bannaddiini bonna bakadde baffe mu Katonda, mwebale nnyo okubeerawo. Olwakadde kankomaawo, Bassebo ne banyawo mbaaniriza, security eri gulugulu DPC waali.
Ssebo Ssentebe, tweyanziza nnyo, tweyanzeege. Munzikirize sipiidi nja kutwala neneko, nga bwe nabagambye nti waliwo enjogera egamba nti olunaku lumu lusala 2. Bwe tubakuuma wano obudde obuwanvu, oba oliawo emirimu gifa, ate nga bannabizinensi akasente tukeetaaga omusolo. Nga bwe mumanyi enkola yaffe, sente tukeetaaga tusobole okuyimirizawo Masaka. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite her worship the mayor. Ono nno ng'ajja okwogera mumukubireko obugalo obw'enjawulo, kubanga ayagadde Masaka ku ntobo y'omutima gwe, akolagana ne URA bulungi ne projects endala nnyingi nga bwe tujja okuzanjula mu maaso awo. I worship you most of them.
Our chief guest, the Honorable Minister of Finance, the Commissioner General, the Leader of the Opposition, Members of Parliament, the RCC, allow me, each one of us who was invited in your capacity, I recognize you. I welcome you all to such a memorial and significant day for URA, Masaka, and the country at large. We were here in September 2022 for the groundbreaking of this incredible infrastructure. I wish to congratulate URA on reaching this fundamental milestone of establishing an own home here in Masaka. I would like also to acknowledge that it is such a privilege for us in Masaka City to host the URA regional offices. Please kindly recruit some of your workers from Masaka so that the residents can feel a sense of ownership. We have just heard from the person who has introduced a dedicated team, saying they've been committed, traveling all the way to come to Masaka and give service. This does not mean that the people of Masaka are not dedicated. So my humble appeal is that you look around. We have boys and girls who are capable of performing even better, so that we get a feel and own URA and the services. That's my humble appeal. When we came here, I've forgotten the name of, I think he's the manager of the project, who came and told us he's bringing something unique to Masaka. Where is he? The person who has been taking us around. What did you call it? There's some technical name. Geo, neoclassical design. Indeed, I'm seeing it is real. When we saw the buildings that were here and the artistic impression that we got, I could not believe that standing here at this moment, I would be in this neo-classical design building, which is now a reality. I thank you so much. As a mayor, I have said to make Masaka a clean, green, livable city as my legacy. To this end, I wish to inform you that URA has come through to join efforts with my office in this endeavor with a 10 million shilling contribution to us to buy trees and green the city. Thank you so much for that addition. In fact, I feel proud because buli lwenjogera ku kibuga Masaka ne bannamasaka ate nfuna abantu bangi abanneegattako. Enkya ya leero Haji Muto, Hajati Provad beeyamye okugattako ku kuzimba ekibuga nga bakiteekamu kiragala. Era mbasiimye nnyo, era pledge eyo tujajjaaniriza era tusuubira nti n'abalala bangi bagenda twegattako. I also thank you so much for transforming the scenery of this street with such beautiful infrastructure. This neighborhood will not remain the same. With such a beauty, the city is looking at planting royal palms on this formerly Broadway Road to what we have now renamed Muwenda Mutebi Road, which will be beautified by URA. And this road begins from the roundabout at Toto to Chijabwemi. Thank you so much, URA, for being what you are. Honorable Minister, my appeal has met your heart. and you have accepted that URA is going to pave the lane behind. We thank you so much, Honorable Minister. You make us proud. It's one thing to be coming from Masaka, and it is another having the heart of transforming Masaka, because we have seen so many leaders who have been having high positions, but when you ask what addition, you may fail to see it. I'll not mention names. I thank URA for extending your services closer to the people in this region. In the new city that was operationalized in 2020, we are counting on business owners as the cornerstone to building our city. See to it that you develop an understanding with business owners to appreciate paying taxes, hence developing Uganda together. I had a meeting this week with all business owners of the city, and we agreed that each landlord is going to paint his building in Masaka City. We have agreed that each landlord is going to pave the frontage of his building. Each landlord is going to contribute to paving all the lanes within the city. You pave your portion, the other one continues up to the end. What we are going to do as the leadership is to do the drainage system and make the stormwater properly channeled so that we don't get issues. I congratulate you once again and wish you a fruitful day for God and my country. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Your Worship, for the kind words. URA, this year we are looking at corporate social responsibility activities. We are looking at corporate social responsibility activities that have a bearing on the environment. No wonder the Commissioner General was able to provide the support that is needed to undertake this. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me welcome the Commissioner Corporate Services, represented by the Money Lady, Madam Diana Chisaka. You're most welcome to deliver the remarks of the Commissioner Corporate Services. Tuli mu mwezi oba emyezi egy'okusiima ba taxpayer. Kitegeeza Madamu Kisaka nga tannava wano alina baagenda okusiima. Tweyanziza nnyo.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Minister for Finance, Planning and Development, our Commissioner General, the members of Parliament, our Mayor, the local leaders here represented, and our religious leaders, our taxpayers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Balamusizza nnyo olwaleero era mbeebaza nnyo olw'okutwala ekiseera okubeera naffe ku lunaku luno. Erinnya nga bwe nnyanjuddwa nze Kisaka Diana, naye ng'olwaleero nyimiridde mu bigere ebya Commissioner Corporate Services nga ye Mwami Karisa Richard. It is a great joy and an honor to stand before you today as we mark a great achievement that has been enabled only and only by the grace of God. We thank God for the journey that the authority continues to make in mobilizing domestic revenue and also facilitating trade across our nation and in our region. Today we are glad that we inaugurate this regional office and service center, which is a significant indication of the desire and the commitment of Uganda Revenue Authority to fortify Uganda's financial landscape. We reflect on the journey that we have taken and has already been mentioned by Ishta, the Assistant Commissioner, and has also been mentioned by the Mayor, that we commenced this journey about 2 years back, although the groundbreaking happened on the 1st of July of 2022. We thank God that we have been able to make this journey with the support of our consultant, Symbion Uganda, who have already been recognized. We thank you for the great effort and contribution that you have made by ensuring that we actually run on within a contract value of 9.8 billion. And all of this has been fully funded by the government of Uganda. We appreciate the government of Uganda for the commitment to build our nation, of course under the leadership of His Excellency, our President, and also our stakeholders, the members of Parliament that actually undertake the appropriation that enable us to perform. This project has been done in 15 months, and this remarkable infrastructure that Mayor has referred to, a neoclassical design. We pray that this will continue all across the nation of Uganda to make Uganda indeed the pearl of Africa, that we will not be desiring to see these nice things when we move out of our own country, but everywhere across our nation, we will be able to see such infrastructure that will give honor to our own land. This work was completed on the 30th of September 2023, and once again I would like to appreciate the contract management team that has been recognized here for doing a tremendous job and being on the road continually and working through the details to ensure that we complete this work in good time. This building stands as a testament to what government is committed to, funding our own operations up to 100%. The structure is built on 3,364 square meters. That is the built-up area. And it will accommodate our domestic taxes office on the first floor, our customs office on the second floor, while it will also have dedicated space for our training. And those who do not know, there is training actually happening in this building already. There's a session ongoing, and this will be available to support our taxpayer training as well. Definitely that will impact our costs. We may not need to incur very heavily by hiring accommodation elsewhere. We have meeting rooms that will be accommodating different numbers of people across this building. And we also have a conference facility, which is this very one at 250 people, on top of boardrooms that can take up to 20 persons at a time. We also have all the critical resources required within this building, such as an 80 kVA generator, UPS power. This building is also fully installed with all the ICT network cables to ensure that our service is available to support the taxpayers in this area. More than that, because we are interested in the convenience of our taxpayers, we have parking facilities for our taxpayers within the premise, and that will help us to serve effectively. Allow me to extend sincere gratitude to the government of Uganda, which has made this dream a reality. Our heartfelt appreciation continues to go to our contractors, our consultants, and the URA management for the diligent work that has been undertaken in this work. I would like to also thank our neighbors that have cooperated in availing us space to work through or to work in while executing this project. I would like to notably mention our neighbor, Mr. Kamuru Ali, and Mr. George Babumba. I'm not sure if they're here today. If you're here, I would like to recognize you. Thank you very much for being such cordial neighbors and suffering the inconvenience. Construction is never very convenient. We are sure you have had to deal with debris and running through things as you access your own premises. But thank you for working with us cordially and ensuring that our office is now up and running. We believe that we shall continue to work together. In conclusion, this office is not merely an erected structure, but it represents a commitment to serve our nation better and to improve our tax administration processes and ultimately contribute to the growth and prosperity of our nation, Uganda. We all belong to Uganda. God has determined the boundaries in which each one of us should dwell. That is in the book of Acts. It is Him that decided that we are Ugandans. And our role is to love our nation, Uganda, to cherish it and make it much better each and every day. The Bible again tells us that the earth and all of its fullness belongs to us. God has given us to us that we may dominate, that we may improve it, that we may take control of it and make use of it for the glory of His name. So we pray that this office will contribute to that goal. It will be part of the extension of our dominion mandate, our mandate to influence this area of Masaka, and that it will go beyond what we have dreamed. As we continue to expand, we've got more projects coming up in other parts of the country. We believe that we will continue to enforce this for the glory and the honor of God. I thank you so much for listening to me, for God and my country.
Thank you so much, CCS. Oluyimba sijja duddamu luyinza obutawooma. Basebo ne bannyabo mukkirize, commission agenda kubaako baawo ebirabo. Tuli mu mwezi gwa kusiima nno, tusiima abawi b'omusolo n'abalala. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite the Assistant Commissioner Administration to join the Commissioner, and also the Assistant Commissioner for Public and Corporate Affairs, Mr. Ibrahim Bosasebo. Jangu, kujoininga omukulu mu kuwa ebirabo bino nga tuli mu mwezi ogw'okusiima. Ngenda kutandika ne Chairman ow'L C1, Omwami Mulindwa Deogracious. Mwamulabyeko dda wano ssebo tusiima, tweyanzizza nnyo tweyanzeege olw'obukulembeze bwe obulungi. Ebiseera bye tuzimbidde wano wabadde material enabbibwa ku site. Basebo ne banyabo engalo nga kiri kiti eyo. Tweyanzizza nnyo tweyanzeege Mr. Mulindwa Deogracious. Next, be balirwana abaffe Omuganda agamba omulirwano gwokya bbiri nga bakola ki? Omwami George Babumba Ssebo n'Omwami Ali Kamuru. Tubeebaza nnyo kubanga nga bwe mumanyi Commission already akyogedde nti bw'obeera ozimba wabeerawo bintu bingi nnyo, naye tweyanziza nnyo obutatwekaanya obugalo. That is Mr. Ali Kamuru. Balirwana abaffe omu ali eno, Mwami Kamuru ali eno. So, babadde bankizo nnyo mu kutuyambako. I would like to invite Mr. Joseph Emuru, the Clerk of Works. I think someone will pick it for him. And then we have Halai Nitesh from Ambitious. Hey. naye obugalo bannange kiruli tutya aba UR abali wano temanyi bwe tusiima tusiima Alaini Tesh Kambaju Xavier naye wa ambitious erinnya ndooza nga bwe liri ambition balina nnene tubeeyanzizza nnyo and lastly in this session Mr. John Chibirango sebo tweyanzizza nnyo tweyanzeege. We really appreciate the effort you put in. Omuganda agamba nti akatono kakola katya kazira mu liiso neeyanziza nnyo neeyanzeege bakama bange musobole okuddayo ne mutuula. Ladies and gentlemen, we're actually streaming this event live on YouTube. URA has a TV that streams live on social media platforms. So you could try it out, you could inform the colleagues that you've left elsewhere to try it out. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite the Commissioner, Domestic Taxes. She's charged with collecting taxes domestically. In fact, Masaka is on record for collecting about 37 billion last year. Naye nga bwe tumuwadde ekizimbe, oba oliawo sijja kubyogera naye oba oliawo musolo guneeyongera. Welcome you, madam.
Thank you so much. Good morning to all of you. The Honorable Minister of Finance, represented by Honorable Kasolo, the Leader of Opposition, Honorable Matthias Puga, the Members of Parliament present here, the Commissioner General, our Lord Mayor, and all protocols observed in your respective capacities. Thank you so much for coming to celebrate with us. We thank the leadership of Masaka for welcoming us to collect tax. Tax collection is not something very easy, but to be honored to be part of this community and specifically to give you such a beautiful building. We want our taxpayers to be comfortable as we serve them. When they come here, they will feel comfortable and happy and really to belong with us. So I'm honored to stand before you on this occasion to launch this regional office. It's going to be the regional office for both domestic tax and customs. My colleague, the Commissioner Customs, is represented here, Mr. Abel Kagumire. So really, this is a one-stop office for customs and domestic tax. Specifically for domestic tax, where I head, this office will serve Bukona Masimbi. I hope I've pronounced properly. Bukoma Masimbi, Sembabule, Kalungu, Ruengo, and Kalangala. We are also thinking of maybe moving the Chotera office here, if it will be commercially viable. Because we have enough space, then we will just keep going. But surely, this is really a milestone. It means that we value Masaka as a tax region, and it really gives us a fair contribution of tax. Just like any thriving venture, success stems from collaboration and synergies. It's the reason that we are putting a one-stop center here for both customs and domestic tax. The customs border of Mutukula is very central. I don't know if the road is done yet, Honorable, but that road is very important because we have a seaport of Dar es Salaam where most of the imports come through. So Masaka is really a hub, a central hub, which is part of the 30 trillion revenue that we are seeking to attain this financial year. The Honorable Minister of Finance has given us a 30 trillion revenue, and Masaka will give us a fair share of this tax. I want to specifically thank the ambitious group. Your ambitious name is indeed very, very revealing. I was like This is really nice. You are our large taxpayers. So you are here, but you are our large taxpayers. And it's the reason you are ambitious, because you are in large taxpayers. Thank you for supporting us. Continue working hard. And you know, when you keep timelines for a project, it means you will also pay your tax in time. But if a project is not managed in time, even tax suffers. Because the way we tax the construction sector, we tax it based on those completion certificates. When the first cost certificate is done, we also come and tell you we need our money. The second, now without that certificate, you delay tax. So thank you for supporting us. So we celebrate this office together with you, but also we want to celebrate the remarkable revenue growth for Masaka. In Masaka, the tax revenue has grown over the years, but of course we appreciate the challenges in COVID. I just want to look at the last 3 years. From 2020 to 2021, there was 26 billion as revenue collection, representing a growth of 5.4%. In 21 and 22, we had 29 billion, representing a growth of 11%. Now, 22-23, we are going by the government financial year, which ends in June. We have a growth of 25.9, representing revenue of 37 billion. So this next financial year, we are again growing this revenue further. So all leaders here, let's support domestic tax mobilization. For customs, we are now trying to just open smart borders. Let traders come in, bring these goods, but we will mobilize tax for our country from wherever we are growing the businesses. So, Madam Lord Mayor, we really, and all the entire leadership of Masaka, the political leaders, support us to collect revenue to grow our country. Even to make this road here, this building is our taxpayers' money. So we want a beautiful country. It is really the domestic tax which will give us that mileage. So in terms of growing the taxpayers, we have moved from 36,000 taxpayers in 2018-19 to 74 in 2022-23, representing an annual growth of about 33%, which is really very good. Let's work hard. Let's encourage our people to do business. And even as they do business, let us give us that tax. Let's support our government. Let's be patriotic to support our government and grow together with our government. So as we launch this office, we celebrate not just the building, but the business community here in Masaka for growing your tax revenue and being part of the revenue mandate of government. I would like to commend our Masaka office team. The Masaka office team for domestic tax is headed by a supervisor. Umar, please stand up. Maybe the Masaka staff, can we stand, please? Yeah. Umar is the team leader. Umar, please put up your hand. Yeah. That is our team leader, Umar Mbugwa. Do you come from Buganda, here in Masaka? Yeah, but he is our part of Buganda Kingdom. He identifies very well. So if our taxpayers come and they have to speak Luganda, we are very, very aware of that. We have people who speak Luganda very well, and they will be able to communicate. So as we move forward, let us continue to work together to promote tax compliance, economic growth, and welfare. We have a training in the floor below. We have an amnesty this year. Because of COVID and the challenges that our taxpayers faced, we decided to change the law to provide an amnesty within the 6 months from July to 31st December. If you can self-declare and pay principal tax, penalty and interest will be waived automatically. So we are encouraging all our taxpayers, and this is what we are going to do. for them to pay the principal tax before 31st December, and then principal penalty and interest will be automatically waived. So we just need a lot of sensitization and tax education, which we are doing. So Masaka, with this incredible potential, will continue to be a very vital part of Uganda's revenue progress. And together we shall achieve this revenue target together. And thank you so much for God and my country. May God bless our hands as we work very hard. May God bless you as you pay your fair share of tax. Thank you for supporting us to do this mandate that government has given us. Thank you so much. Just wanted to explain something on what the Lord Mayor was saying. In taxation, we have what we call implicit taxation. When you support government to do some of the work, like how she was saying that if the community support in doing some of the road works, and then government comes to do the other part, that is what we call implicit taxation. So even as we pay the other direct tax revenue, let's support government in some of opening up rural roads, and then government comes in now when the communities have also put some effort. It is part of working together as a team. Don't wait for government to just give 100%, because even that 100 is not there. Thank you so much.
Commissioner, you have some words to give away. That is how we do it in UR. I want to thank you so much for the remarks. Yes. I would like to welcome Madam Victoria Nabitaka, who is representing the Commissioner Customs, to join the colleague Commissioner Domestic Taxes. Ono wa musolo gwa munda mu ggwanga, oli wa musolo gwa bweru wa ggwanga. Ne tugatta wamu ne tufuna ekitole ky'omusolo, ate minisita gwe tumuweereza ate n'akola ku byaffe. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Akampa Amanda Tracy from Symbion, Uganda Limited. Mr. Daniel Lubira from Symbion Uganda Limited. Hey, Mr. Lubira, you are the one retaking. Okay. Mr. Victor Dong from Symbion Uganda Limited. Please receive it also. You have performed the function very well. Mr. Ernest Pusima, is he around or he does it again? I'm hopeful Engineer John is around. Hey. I assume you're looking for other business. And then lastly, Engineer Turivarunji Augustus. Please come and get it for the engineer Turivarunji Augustus. This one is not from Symbion, he's from Masaka Municipal Council. That is why we had a change of face. Engineer Augustus. Someone representing Engineer Augustus? He went for burial. Thank you, Commissioner DT, Commissioner Customs, for performing this. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of collecting tax or mobilizing revenue is not a very small role. That is why Uganda Revenue Authority thrives in having good relations with you, such that this role can actually be fulfilled. This year we have a target of about 30 trillion to collect. And of course, this means that we must employ all the good stakeholder relations and other things that can aid us in fulfilling that. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite the gentleman who is behind the wheel of revenue mobilization in this country, and this is none other than the Commissioner General, Mr. John Rujochi Musinguzi, to deliver his remarks. He's also going to award, because we are in appreciation. You're most welcome, sir.
Our guest of honor today, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Minister of State for Finance, in charge of microfinance, Honorable Haruna Kasolo, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nyendo Mukwege, and also the leader for opposition in the Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Matthias Mpuga, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kimanya, Kabonera, I'm not sure whether these names are correct, the Honorable Abed Bwanika, Your Worship, the Mayor of Masaka Town, Madam Florence, the RCC of Masaka, Mr. Hudu Hussein, the DPC religious leaders. We have Haj Isma of the Uganda Muslim Council, and Father Edward Semogerere, who led us in the opening prayer. The business community leaders, and most of them have already been appreciated and acknowledged, but allow me to mention Mr. Jamil Sempija, Haji Moses Kalisa, Haji Tsara Nachiimba, our neighbors, Mr. Ali, who helped us and has been appreciated. Thank you for the help. Mr. George Babumba, our dear LC1 chairman, who gave a moving speech, Mr. Deo Mulindwa, our distinguished taxpayers present here in your respective capacities, and the greater community of Masaka Town, our contractors, our consultants, my colleagues from Uganda Revenue Authority, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm extremely honored this afternoon to be here to join the Honorable Minister of Finance as we open our first regional office in the modern era of Uganda Revenue Authority. So today is a day of celebration and thanksgiving. And allow me, if I go any further, to give the highest thanks to the Almighty God who has enabled us to come this far. We thank God for the far He has brought us. Let me also take this moment to appreciate and thank our government, the government of the Republic of Uganda, led by His Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, but also today represented by the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, for funding this whole entire project 100%. Thank you very, very much. allow me also to thank our parliament. You know, we collect revenue, but we have no authority to touch a penny from that revenue until parliament appropriates and gives us a share of parliament. So we took a proposal to the Ministry of Finance. They presented it to the Parliament of Uganda. And within our annual budget, they allowed us a vote for building regional offices. So this is our first one. But as you've heard in the pipeline, we will build Mbale this financial year, and we will build Gulu the following financial year. So every financial year we have a plan to put a state-of-the-art building like this for serving our taxpayers better. I want to thank the Parliament and the government of Uganda for making this possible. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, also to appreciate our contractor and our consultant. You have already been thanked, but we can't thank you enough. Symbion, we thank you. Ambitious, we thank you. May God bless you. You have demonstrated that you are credible partners, and I can see for the long term we will be working with you. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank the leadership of Masaka Town. There is no way we could have pulled off this without the support of the LC1 chairman, without the support of Her Worship the Mayor, the RCC, and all the local leaders and opinion leaders in this city. Thank you for believing in us, for trusting us. I'm told for the long time when we are constructing, we are parking in a neighbor's plot for no charge. Even now that we have finished building, we are branding and advertising about our office on a wall of another neighbor. Thank you very much for the good neighborness and for the support you have given us. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank our taxpayers. Those leaders of business that every month and every year sacrificially pay their taxes for the development of the entire nation. Yes, we collect, and collecting is a hard task. But believe me, it is harder to part with the tax. So I want to thank you, our dear taxpayers, for sacrificing and fulfilling your civic and noble duty of paying your taxes. Honorable Minister, allow me now to thank you, in particular, for making the time to come and grace this occasion. We do not take your time for granted, and we know that you had many other things to do, but you prioritized this function, and you came here to grace this function as the guest of honor, but also to see in form of accountability the money you've been entrusting us with every year, what it has done. This great building has been constructed in time and in budget. We did not ask for any supplementary funding, and as you already heard from the technical manager when he was taking us around, the rate per square meter is much lower than even the standard recommended by government. So I thank you, Honorable Minister, for making the time and for seeing this. The same thanks goes to the rest of the leaders, our members of parliament. The leader of opposition already whispered to me that he's going for another function, but thank you, sir, for being patient with us. And we will not make our speeches much longer than this. Now let me speak about the mission of revenue collection. And we have clearly spelled it out in our vision. Our vision, Honorable Minister, is no longer just to collect tax as per the budget given. We have a dream at Uganda Revenue Authority that one day our nation, Uganda, will be economically independent. We will be able to raise enough funds to run our budget without begging and borrowing. And this is the dream that we have at Uganda Revenue Authority. By the grace of God, we have seen some symptoms and signs that this is possible. For the last 3 years, when we have been under lockdown, COVID, no new tax rates, nothing, we have seen double-digit growth year after year on our tax revenue collection. 2020-21, we increased our revenue collection by 15%. 2021-22, we increased our revenue collection by 12.4%. 2022-23, we grew our collection by 16.5%. This year, we hope to grow our revenue collection by about 20%. By the grace of God, we hope we shall be able to achieve this. But there is no way we could do this without the support of our taxpayers. So what we are doing at Uganda Revenue Authority, this is one of them. We want to serve our taxpayers in an environment that is conducive, comfortable, close enough to them. So the people of Masaka, this is your office. This is your office. It has been built by the funds of the taxes that you have paid, 100% financed by the government of Uganda. Please come here for your service. If you feel you have any complaint, come here and address it with the leaders. You have been shown the manager for this. You can stand up again, Mr. Mbuga, and your team. Maybe you come here on the platform so that people see you and know who they should come to. Even the customs team, the Masaka team, please come here as I make my comments. Now, these gentlemen, there are no ladies in Masaka. Are they in the training? The ladies are good teachers. They are training downstairs. These gentlemen that you see are your servants. They are here to serve you, and they promise to serve you based on those core values: patriotism, integrity, professionalism. I brought them on the platform so that you can hold them accountable. If at any one day you detect there is some lack of patriotism in what Mr. Mbuga is doing, or what my brother, the enforcement in charge here, what's your name? Huh? Amala Daniel, or Mr. Basoga, whoever in this team, if you find that there is anything that falls below the mark of patriotism or integrity or professionalism, please hold them accountable. Remind them that these are the core values we stand for. Equity and fairness. That is, your worship, you're right. And equity, that is true. We will address the gender equity. But I'm told the leaders, because they are good teachers, they're on the next floor, down doing some training. But if there is some imbalance, we are not short of ladies. I think when you look at the statistics of URA, the ladies are more than the men. So the deployment, CDT look into it. Maybe the ladies ask to stay in Kampala. It is time we bring them close to the worship. Please, team, you can go back and sit. But this is not the only team that you should hold accountable. Please hold me, the CG, accountable. And I like it when a taxpayer confidently approaches me and he says, CG, what you are doing is not fair. And this is the only way we will develop our country together. Because for the longest time, our tax to GDP has been oscillating between 10 and 12%, probably for about 20 years. By the grace of God, this year we have stepped into 14%. But even 14% tax to GDP is not enough for the Honorable Minister of Finance and the members of Parliament to apportion that budget and run the affairs of our country. Research has indicated that for any nation to develop, you need to collect at least 20%. And this is our dream, that in the medium term, 3 to 4 years, we should be able to raise our tax collection to at least 20% tax to GDP. But this is a path we cannot walk alone. We are doing a number of things, and I will quickly mention some of the initiatives we are doing, and we'll back on you to support us, and we walk this journey together. The training that is happening downstairs, we are training our taxpayers on the new, transparent, revamped tax ledgers. Now, for all of you who are in business, especially the large taxpayers, you know very well that our ledgers have been a source of conflict. The taxpayer has one view of what they owe, URA has another view. That confusion is coming to an end. We have revamped our ledgers. We now indicate how much you owe in principal tax, for what tax period, and we have made it completely transparent that you have exactly the same view of your tax ledgers the way we have it. That is the training we are doing right now on the floor down. We will continue to do this. Please approach the staff here. Let them explain this to you further. There will be no more room for anybody overseeing or asking you for money that is not realistic. We are trying to be as accountable and as transparent to you, and please hold us accountable to this. Of course, there is a time for transitioning. It may not be all smooth, so if you go on now and you log onto your account and you find maybe some data is not there, please don't feel mad and you say CG has lied us. Most likely you'll find it there because we've started moving all this data from the large taxpayers. We are moving down to the small taxpayers. If you find anything not right in your data, please approach these gentlemen and ladies in this office and they will resolve it. So ledgers will no longer be a source of conflict. But the other advantage in the revamped ledgers, Honorable Minister and members of Parliament, we want to maximize the law that was passed at the beginning of July this year that came into force, tax procedure section 40D, which waives all interest and penalty for people who are able to pay their principal tax before 30th of December. Now this process is automatic, meaning that if a taxpayer logs onto their tax account ledger and they check, they will see this is my principal tax. Out of the 200 million that URA has been demanding from me, 100 is the only principal tax. The other 100 is interest. And as long as this taxpayer can get the 100 and pay, the other interest and penalty will collapse automatically. You don't even have to work in this office. That process has been automated. Ladies and gentlemen, there are other things we are doing. We have introduced technology. And I want to take this opportunity to appeal to our taxpayers to embrace this technology. It is for your good, it is for my good. Some of the areas where we've been having battles is that sometimes we oversell you. We don't have a clear record of what your sales are like, but based on what you filed previously, we say now you have underdeclared your sales, and sometimes we come either to audit or we make some administrative assessments. Technologies like IFRIS, which is not a new tax, but which is a transparent way of managing your sales, making them very transparent to the tax body, but also for you, making the process of filing your returns seamless. Please embrace IFRIS. IFRIS will make things easier for you in keeping your records and paying the right tax, but it will also help government collect the right amount of tax. So it is coming. Some of you are already on IFRIS, and I commend you for that. Some of you who are not, I encourage you to get on IFRIS. IFRIS monitors VAT. VAT is an input-output tax. You as a business person, you will not pay this tax. You will collect it, and you'll pay when you're making your purchases. And the difference between your input and your output is what you give to the government of Uganda. So embrace IFRIS. It will make life easy for you. Embrace the usage of digital tax stamps. They will make life easy for you, and they will help us to level the playing field. So a number of technology initiatives, and as you know, Honorable Minister, at the beginning, at the end of last month, we launched our IT strategy. In that strategy, there is a detail of where we are going. We realize as a tax body, we have enough data to make us collect the right amount of taxes. We've not been using it. So now we've built capacity. We are now acquiring artificial intelligence. We will analyze that data and we'll be able to improve our collections. But we need the support of our taxpayers to embrace this technology. And we are skilling both our staff and we are skilling our taxpayers so that we see how to adopt this technology. As we went around, Honorable Minister, we spoke about the use of the boardrooms on every floor. They are particularly for that. We will do skilling online and physical until the whole society of Uganda moves together in developing our nation. In the interest of time, our chief guest and our dear distinguished guests who have come, I want to conclude my remarks by thanking you for giving us this time, for the support, for the excellent work done. I cannot conclude my remarks, Honorable Minister, without thanking the able team of Uganda Revenue Authority. You have already seen them here. Those ones who supervise the construction, those ones in corporate services who release the funds in a timely manner. Excellent team of URA warriors. I thank you. Keep up the spirit. You make me very proud as your team leader to know that I have a team that can do such an excellent job in-house, and we are able to get this far. Honorable Minister, just allow me to make two references from this big speech that was prepared for me, most of which I've already spoken about. But now allow me to make very brief comments on the performance of the first quarter. I have already mentioned that we've been having significant growth in double digits for the last 3 years. Some quarters, we meet our targets. Some tax heads, we meet our targets, others we don't. So this is a preliminary release of the first quarter performance. In the first quarter performance, July to September, the net revenue collection was 6.015 trillion. This is a growth of 607 billion from the previous financial year first quarter performance. And in terms of percentage growth, it is 11.23%. So we are aiming at achieving 20. In the first quarter, we've achieved 11, and we know why, but we are working hard to improve this in the remaining 3 quarters. And this accounted for 20.59% of the annual growth. The domestic taxes performance were generally excellent. We were able to collect 3.832 trillion, which was a growth of 530 billion from the quarter of the previous year, and it was a 16.07% growth. Most of these surpluses came from payee. We appreciate the growth of payee numbers, mainly from government and new sectors like oil and gas, which are giving us a boost. We also achieved a surplus in treasury bills, in presumptive tax. This is tax for small people. Presumptive tax, and also in non-tax revenue. This is the other fees that we collect for government. There was also surpluses. However, we had some deficits in the areas of indirect tax. Some of them I've already talked about, like VAT, and that is why we must improve the adoption of technology in those areas. Thank you. That's why we must improve the adoption of technology in those areas so that we are able to meet our targets. On the side of international taxes, this is customs taxes. We collected 2.342 trillion, realizing a growth of only 100 billion, and percentage-wise, 4.47%. And Honorable Minister, as I whispered to you earlier, the biggest reason is that because of the import substitution and trade facilitation policy of government, we are having more and more of our inputs or imports are exempted. So that talks about the small growth in customs taxes. But overall, We registered growth in the following sectors. Education sector, the collection and the growth there is of 71%. The public administration sector, and thanks to the parliament for improving the welfare of scientists. Public administration and defense, we also registered some growth there of 66%. Administrative support services, 54%. Water supply, sewerage, and waste management, about 50% growth. Real estate, 27%, were all registered as growth. So the outlook of the new quarter, Honorable Minister, we are looking at collecting 7.7 trillion in the quarter of October to December, and this will contribute about 26%. We are working hard, and we believe that by the end of the second quarter, we will have achieved this target. But overall, at the end of the financial year, we are working towards collecting 29.218 trillion as passed by Parliament. I want to thank you again, our precious leaders, for supporting us in this endeavor. It is not easy to collect taxes. It is not easy to pay taxes, but as government, you have been there to regulate and to bring in policies that make it easier for taxpayers to pay, and also hearing their pain. We have intensified our research, and we'll be making new submissions and requests for policy improvements in the next financial year, and we hope to get your support. I would like to conclude my remarks and stop here. I still had a lot to say, but I'm mindful of time. I want to thank everybody who has made it here. I want to thank everybody who has been part of this successful journey. I want to thank everybody who continues to pay their tax favorably and for the development of our nation. It is our dream that Uganda will one day be able to balance its budget, and will have not just enough money to manage our affairs, but like other developed nations of the world, we'll have some money to lend to others and for our citizens to enjoy. Please join us in this journey. Let's work it together for the betterment of our nation. I thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Commissioner General. Before you leave the stage, allow me to invite the following persons that you're going to recognize. We have Mr. Richard Karisa, represented by Madam Masaka, who has been the project owner for this project. By the same time, she will also receive a recognition for her role as the head finance and availing the resources in time. That is why you see the building has been able to rise up within the short time that was planned. She is now receiving in her capacity as the head finance the Commissioner of Domestic Taxes, Madam Sarah Chelangat. As the Commissioner of Customs, represented by Vicky. The Commissioner of Customs is receiving a recognition for the support offered. The Assistant Commissioner Administration is next in line. As the Contracts Management Team, popularly known as the CMT, prepare. Thank you so much, Ishta, for steering the wheel of the CMT. Martin Tabazi, please come over. Myra Ocho, prepare to come. Prosi, prepare to come. and Julius Bagole, in that order. Myra? Popularly known as Nalongo Hot. Engineer Prosi Atolere. Julius Bagole. Mr. Commissioner General, we have 3 more to go. Mr. Richard Drakma from Symbion Uganda Limited. Mr. Matovu Mugaga from Masaka Municipality. Mr. Matovu. We appreciate you for the support offered. And lastly, CG is the Mayor, Masaka City, a worship. We promise to walk the journey, to build the collaboration, and to make sure that we work with you to upgrade and lift Masaka City. Thank you so much, CG.
Your worship, allow me to make a brief comment on your remark. You talked about the local representation. I asked, they told me that on this site, deliberately, we made sure we employed only local people. So most of the team who have been working on this are. And at Uganda Revenue Authority, when we are recruiting, mainly we go on melt, and that makes it fair. So I've not taken statistics to know how many come from Masaka, but most likely they are there but working in other areas. But if there are going to be any other local contracting jobs, please never bring a foreigner from somewhere to come and work in a Masaka office. So we will ensure that that happens going forward. Thank you so much for those comments.
Thank you so much, the Commissioner General. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, to invite the Honorable Member of Parliament, Fonyendo Mukungwe, who also doubles as the leader of opposition in Parliament, Honorable Matthias Impuga Nsamba, owekitiibwa tukwaniriza ssebo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lumanyika, the Honourable Minister of Finance, colleagues, members of Parliament, the Mayor of Masaka City, the RCC, religious leaders here, CG, and your brothers and sisters, the sons and daughters of Zacchaeus, the legendary tax collector. Welcome to Masaka City. I'll be very brief, like I had earlier on asked the minister. We lost a senior citizen, and we were bound to take leave. I know the mayor is told her ages, and the old man is a parent to so many people in the community who are very ardent community members who adhere to their civic duty. So we will humbly request that immediately the minister makes his remarks, we take leave. My colleague, the Honorable Wanika, was ably introduced. Honorable Kakande is not here, had a personal matter to attend to, and she sent her apologies. Secondly, I want to appreciate you for keeping time. When Mr. Amala called me, I told him one thing I know about such functions, people hardly keep time. But then you kept time. That is a plus to URA. Thank you. I want to congratulate you for this achievement. You have changed the skyline of Masaka with this beautiful infrastructure, cementing a sense of your permanence in this community, that you are here for keeps. But invariably, your relationship with our people is symbiotic, not parasitic. And therefore, because you live in a symbiotic relationship, your permanency is as good as the permanency of the people in Masaka who pay taxes. So look at this at the beginning of cementing your relationship with them. Mwami Kalungu ajja provide bwe bavaawo nammwe okubeerawo kwammwe okulubeerera kwako kendeera. So okubeerawo kwammwe nga kwalubeerera kutegeeza Bannabasaka nabo kukola ki? Kubeerawo. Bwe baba tebaliiwo nammwe muba mwolekedde Lwera oba muba munadda Mutukula simanyi. But this is very monumental because it just indicates how you respect this community and how you want to serve them in an environment that shows respect. Very, very important. We congratulate you and we pray and hope that more and more synergies that are closer are built between this agency and the people of Masaka. We are a very traditional community, as you might know. Our people are very humble people, but very committed to what they do. Many of them that are very successful and therefore potential taxpayers are very humble people with very minimal exposure, but working so hard. So we pray and expect that in here, you'll have a framework that reaches out to them to make them understand their civic responsibility, but also assuring them that your work, your obligation as a government agency does not threaten their existence. Bannamasaka bantu ba bulijjo beetowaze, bakola emirimu gyabwe, bangi nnyo bakola nnyo, si bayivu nnyo bwenkanidde awo, baagala nnyo okuwa omusolo, ne baagala okutegeera nti omusolo gwe bawa teguzze kubaggalawo. URA has targets, but so do they. Mwina targets zammwe, ninaabo balina ezaabwe. May we pray nti targets zammwe n'ezaabwe zikwatagana, so that your target do not threaten their existence. Kubanga bw'obasaako ekkufulu, nawe yinewo baweetaddeko ekkufulu. And I want to invite you, Shigi. I have authored so many documents from my department regarding to tax correction. I authored a charter of fiscal responsibility in the alternative. And I'm glad the Ministry of Finance embraced it wholesomely. I'm not sure whether they're implementing it, but they embraced it. And when they looked at our views on how to collect revenue without endangering communities, without necessarily making it a war. Kituufu abantu tebaagala kuwa musolo, naye ekibagaana okwo musolo byafaayo bya wano nti bwe baguwa ate beebuuza gukoze eki. In Europe, in Western Europe, one of the countries that are heavily taxed, they tax you to the marrow, is Germany. But in Germany, you cannot ask what your tax has done. You pay heavily, you pay through the nose, but the government actually serves you through the nose. That's how symbiotic they relate with the people. They really tax you until you fall to the marrow. But you work in a government facility and they are real services. You really see your tax. So you sit humbly sweating, but aware and confident that actually taxes will serve you. Our minister, in In environmental economics, probably even in law, we have the principle of abuser pay principle or polluter pay principle. Ayo nono butonde yakola ki yabuzaawo bw'otema omuti ovunaanyizibwa okusimba ki emirala. How I wish the Ministry of Finance would mirror that principle for taxpayers, that where people pay more taxes, they get more services. That would be a motivation, that would be an invitation for people to really love paying taxes. Omusoto wayagala guwa baguwa lwa mpaka naye abantu bajja kuwoomerwa nnyo guwa amayinji ngenda guwa kubanga nyina kye nsuubira. One of the ladies was asking whether, for example, the Mutukula Masaka road has been tarmacked. Not yet, but I'm sure they're working, they're doing something about it. But it's partly undermining your targets for this sub-region. You really need to appreciate that, the fact that part of the problem why your targets are that low, because at 14.2%, we are still below the sub-Saharan average of 16%. Your neighbors across in Kigali at 15, they are probably 8 points ahead of you. Tanzania at 13 is below you, but you see 13% of a million is bigger than 13% of 10,000. So they have a much bigger economy. So in real terms, they collect more. So we have all this to do. 3 months ago, I authored a document which I presented to Parliament. And in one of the areas I talked about on the economy, what I termed as mafia-led sectors. Waliwo ebitongole bya gavumenti binalambika nti birimu ba mafia abalemesezza eggwanga okukula. One of them is mining, and the second is fishing. Get interested and see. I have authored documents about collecting revenue from the mining sector. It's not yielding. There's a problem. Kati Ajikaliisa bw'awulira nti abatunda gold tebaagala kuwa musolo. Ate ye n'asanga ng'omukedde ku makya yeewuunya abatunda zaabu waki bwe tuwa waki musolo. Beekwasa obusongasonga nti ate bino ate biri. Abatwala ebyennyanja ebweru abamu tebawa musolo balina gye babitambuza. So you need to look at this. We have on this one country called home. And whoever needs to pay tax must pay the tax. So if you're looking for tax really to impact and meet these your targets, you really need to look at these sectors so that the taxpayer in Masaka, owakaduuka katono amanya nti akaduuka kange bakabeerako naye n'atwala zaabu ebweru naye agenda kuwaaki omusolo. That way you'll be able to meet your targets. But if you're going to really be soft on the big fish and then come hard down on the small people, there's a problem. Of course, the other bigger issues are policy related, which is not your space. It's the space we have to really discuss as politicians. There are issues which we really need to look at from a broader policy perspective to bring to bear the entire framework of revenue mobilization in this country. They're not your issues. You only handle what you've been handed over to by the Ministry of Finance. Of course, we shall square off in Parliament with these our peers because we want the best for the country. And in my policy documents, I have authored variously, I have enumerated how we can collect more revenue without hurting the growth of the economy. Osobola okukuŋŋaanya ekingi olwaleero enkya n'oddayo nga gye wakuŋŋaanya tebakyaliwo. That would be dangerous. But we have given alternatives as the opposition on how URA can collect revenue, grow the country without hurting taxpayers. Please be interested. Tolinda Honorable Minister kubuulira. Challenge them and say, but there are these options. Why don't you really adopt them? Challenge them. As CG probably the rest of the occasion. I want to thank you once again and your team. Ate banna Masaka okubasaba nti abakulu wano nga basembedde okumpi. I've ever called on the regional manager here. Ne musaba abantu baffe bababeere kumpi bababuulire ekyokukola bakitegeere bulungi in the spirit of your 3 core values transparently and professionally babategeeze nti bwe tugamba edduuka lyo nteririna okuwa income tax kitegeeza ki what is income obusente bwayo babukola ne tebabukola mu luzungu sente zaabwe bazikola mu luganda mu bizannyonnyole mu luganda bajja kuwa omusolo bulungi babitegedde omusolo gulimu oluzungu lungi naye sente ezo zoogera luganda eza wano bannyonnyole in very plain terms then you'll have a very symbiotic relationship with our people. Honourable Minister, I want to thank you for coming. This is our space, this is our country, this is our region. We work together to be sure that there's beneficial interest in all that you do. Thank you so much. May the Almighty bless you. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matthias Mpuga. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we only have 2 speeches left, only 2. Allow me invite the RCC, Mr. Hood Hussein, to make his remarks, and we also take the honors to invite the Honorable Minister of Finance to make his remarks.